What up? It's the Geeky Fight MMA. Got a little bit of metal in my head from work. Um, yeah, it's gonna be my first time doing trying to do a podcast show type of format thing. I know I don't got the right equipment, so all that crap. You just have to stick with it for now. Um, so starting off first, let's start with the big news that most people probably want to hear. The Conor rumors. Apparently, he's fighting Franky Yair. I haven't looked into deep into the rumors, but I believe Kavanaugh wanted his coach Kavanaugh wanted Conor to return and fight Franky Yair. And what was my thoughts on this? I mean, I don't know if he's going down to 145 and doing that. Most likely, I would assume he's doing it at 155. And there's excuse is gonna be, oh, Franky was a former champ at 155, and technically Franky, I thought he beat Henderson in the rematch. He lost the first fight in my eyes, had an immediate rematch, and then I thought he won the rematch. But anyways, Franky after that was his last fight at 155 against Ben Henderson, and I think he won that one. Then the judge didn't give it to him, so he went down to 145 and stayed there ever since. Now the rumors is Conor is wants that to be his next fight. What are my thoughts of this? I think that it's obviously I don't want to use the word cherry pick because Franky's not a cherry for anybody, like an easy cherry, but it's a fight Conor has a high chance of winning. This fight should happen was it, like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe sooner. But yeah, that fight didn't happen. What I think about it, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I don't think it's gonna be that much trash talking because Frankie was never that guy that Conor talks shit about, and I don't think that'd be. Yeah, that's gonna be trash talking, but it won't be like that dramatic. And everybody knows Frankie's got to go in there to win it, but anybody find Conor, they're just fighting for the money basically. Because if you ain't the top of the division, you know Conor ain't gonna fight you. So like you're the cherry or you're the one that he's not likely gonna beat. And going back to cherry picking earlier, I think that this is it's a okay build up fight. It's not something I'm against because it's not like boxing level where like Frankie could still pulls a legit chance of winning. Whereas it's not like boxing level where it's like 80% tomato cans and you know it's not really gonna be most likely not gonna be that competitive. This one, yeah, Conor could knock him out easily, but at the same time, on paper, this fight could still be competitive, and it's a fight that Conor should win if they do it, especially at 155. At 145, that's a different story. I think at 145, it's gonna be a close matchup. I think Frankie, he could do everything like Frankie. I think he'll be competitive, but I think the mileage has stacked up. I still think he could take a shot, but I don't know. I just don't think Frankie will win the decision. Honestly, Frankie can always submit him, but I don't think it's gonna be that easy. And for Conor, trying to practice against grapplers, and Franky is a good grappler, but the only difference is Franky is not he doesn't have that super strength or super athletic ability. He poses like the speed that Conor needs to rely on, but he's lacking in size. And for a developmental fight, if you want to call that, Conor ain't gonna be able to. That ain't gonna do much with Conor. Franky's too small, too weak, and what's that gonna do with him to help him with Khabib? He ain't gonna do shit. Like, oh yeah, I learned some grappling techniques, but he needs that strength and that speed. That he needs to deal with that. Yeah, I think it's a 2-5. I don't know what's next for the. If that's the route Conor's choosing, I don't know what's next for Gaethje, because we don't know when that Khabib and Ferguson fight's taking place. It's it seems like they tried to December. But if that is happening, if that fight's happening in December and Conor is fighting Franky, I don't know what puts that. I don't know what position this puts Justin Gaethje in. Justin Gaethje, he's on fire right now, man. Like, this Justin Gaethje, I think it'll probably be a rematch. And I don't know what's with Poirier too. It'll most likely be a rematch with Poirier. And if this is true, Poirier's out of the picture with Conor's out of the picture for Poirier. What's in the picture of Poirier? You got Gaethje, rematch with Gaethje, or you try to fight Tony Ferguson, because you ain't getting Khabib. You need to get like 2 more wins at the very least if you want to match with Khabib. 1 win, and if there's a late replacement available, you could possibly take that spot with that 1 win. But if there's no late replacement, you need at least 2 wins if you want a rematch with Khabib. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in the lightweight division, especially those top 5s with Conor's fighting Franky. Anyways, move on to the next topic. It's been official. The Korean Zombie, one of my favorite fighters of all time, against Brian Ortega. I believe that's going to be a UFC Korea. Ooh, I'm so excited for that. Korean Zombie. He's that guy who, like, you just don't know. Like, you just don't know. Like, you want to win, but you think he's going to get destroyed. And then he goes out there and murks the other person. But then when you think he's going to win, he's winning, or he's being competitive, and some freak stuff happens and he loses the fight. Like, that's all Korean Zombies fight are crazy in the UFC. Like, you got that war. And who would think that a guy who, like, had a split war with Garcia, what was it? I forgot dude's full name, but who would think that a guy who had a split decision war against Garcia would do this good in the UFC? Like, it's freaking Garcia, man. Like, he's like you would never have thought somebody who had that tough fight like that against Garcia, and he gets knocked out by I think George Roop. I forgot the dude's name. The tall dude who the first guy knocked out Korean Zombie. Who would think he'll be in the game still? Who would have ever thought he'll make it this far? Korean Zombie is a fucking animal. Like, he's like the original Justin Gaethje. Like, he was out there, no fucks. But then the thing, I think Justin Gaethje. What makes me think that he's a bigger savage than Zombie is because Zombie, part of it was his gimmick, his persona. He had this persona, this gimmick of, oh, I'm just a tough guy who eats shots and go forward. That's what the public labeled me as. And then I just followed that until I got knocked out. So he's a fucking savage, but like part of it was, I believe that part of that was also inspired by some gimmick and persona the public label him as. You know, like, I mean, of course he labels himself as a Korean Zombie. That's his style, but then like he refused to grow out of that style until the consequences kicked in. And you know, it sucks. I mean, he could just imagine how great he could have been if he came to the game with the right approach from the beginning. Anyways, a little off topic. Korean Zombie versus Brian Ortega. Korea, UFC Korea. This is gonna be interesting. If Zombie wins, he gets, I say he's next in line for the winner against Holloway and Volkanovski. And I don't know when that fight is. If I don't know if that's after or before the fight, but if that's before the title fight, Korean Zombie puts himself in line for a late replacement if he wins that fight. He's next in line as a late replacement in case there's a little injury. You know, I want to see that. I don't know, like going back to Zombie's fights in the UFC, like they're all been like weird, like not in a bad way, but like in a weird, good, not so good, okay, not so okay, bad, not so bad way. Like it's the first twister in the UFC, and then he ties the second out, bam, bam, and then he gets a freak shoulder injury loss. Those are all weird. And then PS fight. I mean, at the time I was like rooting for Zombie. At the time I ain't gonna lie, at the time I was kind of like an auto hater. And yeah, Korean Zombie, like, oh man, like if he just took his training approach, like if he came in with the right training approach sooner, I think he could have beat Auto, because the reason his shoulder got injured was the way he was throwing his punches. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like I feel like at the time I felt like my form was better than Zombies, but like, you know, there's a difference. I'm not trying to hate or talk smack or say I'm better fighter than Zombie at the time. I'm just trying to say, like, you know, like having bad form, there's consequences for that. And I know for experience too. You know, I fucked up my shoulder. I got myself a winged scapula. You know, it wasn't. I don't think it was bad as Zombies, but I gave myself a winged scapula before just from like the way I was throwing my hooks. But what I'm talking about is like, even though my form was better, like when I say my form is better, I'm not saying I'm a better fighter than Zombie, but like what I'm trying to say is like you don't necessarily like if you're good at fighting, you're good at fighting, and your form sucks, but you're good at fighting, you can still win the fight. But there's repercussions of having bad form, and there's pros for having good form, and one of the repercussions for that is you put the way you throw your punches, you know, it affects your shoulder, and I think that's how the Zombie he fucked up his shoulder, because the way he was throwing his punches. And you know, it's not just from the fight, it's like reps and reps and reps of how you're throwing your punches, and training, the lead up, and they'll stack up. And you know, he fucked up his shoulder, And like what I'm trying to say is, just to sum it up, because before this long little talk, I was saying that was if you fight a zombie, I feel like he could have won that fight had gone on without that injury. I felt like the momentum started to pick up. It started to pick up, and then that shoulder fucked up. And had he had good form, that shoulder wouldn't have been fucked up. That's what I'm just trying to say. Had he had good form, that shoulder wouldn't have been fucked up, and he could have been able to beat Aldo at Aldo's peak. Or like at the very least, like push Aldo to like, I don't know. It was a great, like, yeah, that's just the Korean Zombie. Like, I don't know. I've been rambling on. I don't know if I made my point clear enough, but yeah, he's got Ortega. I think Ortega's gonna win. I know I've been talking all this hyping the Zombie up. My head is picking Ortega. My heart says Zombie, but my head says Ortega. But hey, every time I pick against Zombie, man, he fucking wins. So hope he can prove me wrong again. Anyways, yeah, a little bit rambling way too on. Then let's talk about that recent UFC event in Mexico. I was in South Dakota, so I didn't really watch all the fights or see a whole lot. I will say though, like I saw the main event and I was like, yeah, I was disappointed, but credit to Herb Dean, man. What that was like, Herb Dean tried his best. He tried his best to keep that fight going, and like he did everything in his power. And like respect to some of the doctors, because we just cancel right now. Like they wouldn't even listen. Herb Dean tried his best to keep the fight from going, but he couldn't. Like, so what happened was like they're like trading, and Yair threw a leg kick, and then as he threw a leg kick, he was sticking his arm out. Like you want to throw a leg kick, you want to stick your arm out, and it resets you into a good like fighting stance. It helps reset you a fighting stance, and like it keeps the target away from you. But as he was doing that, he instead of going straight like that, he boom, he went down and scratched Jeremy in the eye. And only view that caught it. But yeah, I think it scratched Jeremy in the eye because like the doctors try to open your eyes like that, like like I don't know, he could open his eye, and I don't think Jeremy would have fought with one eye in pain like that if the sanctions let him. But the sanctions, they're there to protect us for who we are. And yeah, I understand. Yeah, like Jeremy, like he was not pussy, man. Like, come on, like Jeremy, he kind of has like this little. He's a tough motherfucker. He's a tough motherfucker, and like he would have continued fighting if the doctors let him. But hey, man, he couldn't open his eye. The accident happened. He was injured. Doctors are there to say no for a reason, and like Yair saying all these crap about him, like saying, oh, how if Jeremy, if he was lying, like he would he's got regret for the rest of his life. Like, dude, the dude spent 30,000 on this training camp. He spent like months, like I believe at the least a full month at Mexico training. That's only 15 seconds. I don't think he tasted anything new that made him like, oh shit, like I don't want any of this. Like he got injured. Like the dude's been through so much, has so much experience. Like He's fast and he's powerful, but like I don't think that's anything new to Jeremy, and that didn't make him go, oh I don't think he went, oh shit, like this gets too much for me. Let me fake this out. No, man. Yeah, like Yair saying that, like I don't know, and like the podcast, the translators, they never do the full translation, and watching the Matt Sarah show today, and yeah, I believe it said Pluto a few times, so it's calling Jeremy Steven a little bitch. Like, if any of you who speaks fluent Spanish and you saw the fight and you saw the interview, was he calling Jeremy Stevens a little bitch? Or refer him as something with a little bitch about Jeremy Stevens? Let me know if any of you who speaks or understands Spanish and you guys watched the interview. What did he say, Michael Bisping? Like, and the thing too is like, from what I heard, Yair Rodriguez, like, correct me if I'm wrong. Any of you watching who watched it this far already, correct me if I'm wrong. But did Michael Bisping or the other commentators said he trained? He spent like a training camp with one of his fights with Mike Winklejohn Jackson, like Mike Winklejohn and Greg Jackson, because if he did, that eye poke kind of looked like intentional. Because I believe, like in the video, from what I saw, he was coming down his puncles and then he opened his hands. It looked a little bit intentional, and if he did, that's probably a technique that he picked up along the way from training with them. The team eye pokes. Travis Brown used to train with them. He poked the shit out of Matt Metron's eye. I think that's the last one he got too, but that was barely won that fight, and that was mainly due to a serious eye poke. If it weren't for that eye poke, I think Matt Metron would have won. Anyways, like, yeah. Is that eye poke intentional? Because if it is, then you know what, Yair? You're going to be living with the rest of your life regretting that you threw that intentional eye poke to try to get an advantage, because you just ruined a chance of to become a star or a bigger star than what you are. You just ruined your chance. Because when's the next time they gotta go to UFC Mexico? How many like how many Fabi like Mexicans are there in MMA? How many Mexicans who can't speak English? Who's like, how many of them are training MMA? Not much. So when's the next time UFC gotta go there? Not for a while. And you just ruined your chance to become a bigger star, make the sport even popular in Mexico. You just ruined your chance. So saying Jeremy Stevens, if he backed out, like a little bitch he is, he's got to regret it for the rest of his life. Like, no. If you do that eye poke on purpose, you just fucked up this fight yourself. So, that, or, you just saved yourself from an embarrassing knockout from Jeremy Stevens. I don't know. And then he confronts, there's a little confrontation in a hotel the next day. And I guess you got a little scuffle. They're probably got to try to rerun that fight back. No, that's not a good way to end the main event. Not on a high poke, not like that. And then I missed the girls' fight. Like I was saying, I was in South Dakota. I'm just got back to the hotel. Was I was traveling in South Dakota. It was late. I was tired, and then I took a nap on the girls' fight. I woke up and I saw the highlights. I saw that armbar. From what I heard from Sarah Grasso, I picked Oh shit, I forgot chick's name. As Carlos Esparza to win. I picked Esparza, and she got the win, but I didn't see a fight. But from what I heard from Matt was that Esparza took her down, and she was getting beat up like how, you know, what's that girl's name? Was it Alexa? Oh shit, I forgot her name. I forgot her name, dude, chick's name, but damn man, you got shit memory. She basically did the Tony Ferguson. She got put on her back and she beat the shit out of him from her guard, and she did more damage. And she was the one that should have won the fight, from what I heard from the podcast. And she almost, like, I saw that armbar, man. I saw the highlight of that armbar. I was like, ooh. My wife saw that and she was like, ugh. She just turned away. That armbar was nasty, nasty. Anyways, I guess the chick, as far as I got a lucky decision, just because she was on top doing nothing. Like I said, I didn't see the fight, so I can't fully say. But based on Matt Serra's comment, that's what happened. And then the other fight? That was a good fight, man. You got this Dagestani, I believe he's from Dagestan. For sure he's from Russia, but I think he's from the Dagestani area. Undefeated grappler. And man, you can see why, man. That was some good grappling. But I had the Mexican dude winning the fight. You know, he was out grappling the Mexican dude, and then until the one, like, he was dominating that fight until he got rocked. And then once he got rocked, you know, like Mike Tyson said, man, you hit a black belt once, they become no, not Mike Tyson. Everybody, no, Mike Tyson said everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the face. Rickson Gracie, I believe it was Rickson, said you punch a black belt in the face, he becomes a brown belt. You punch him again, he becomes a purple belt. And I think that's what happened to that Russian dude, man. That Mexican dude just clipped him hard, and man, what a chin. What a chin that Russian dude has, man. Like, those are hard, clean shots, and he survived that shit. I had a Mexican dude winning. I was like, oh, the fight's over. I'm fucking tired. I'm going to take a nap and wake up for the main event. And, you know, I thought Mexican dude was going to win, but I guess based on the podcast that I was listening to, it was a draw or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, yeah, like, I guess Mexican dude had a draw against the fight show one. Oh, man, I feel a little sick here. Oh, man. Yeah, forget their names, but that was a good fight. And definitely gotta try to watch those, keep an eye on those guys. If I see it, I'll remember it, man. But I'll keep an eye out if I see it. And yeah, that's about all I saw in that UFC Mexico card. On to the next event. You got go on to the next event now. It's time to do predictions. Honestly, I'm not gonna review all of them because, you know, I've been so busy lately. Like, I only keep my time to the pay-per-view fights. But with ESPN fights, I just go over the ones I know. And yeah, you got the headline, and like, he's staying Jacare's guard, past the guard, just dominate Jacare on the ground, beat him up. The way he did that, like, granted, yeah, it's an older Jacare, but still, like, to do that on the ground is no joke. Like, jiu-jitsu is one of those arts where your technique does not fade as you age. Like, it fades lower than all the other martial arts. All the other martial arts, your technique you have to kind of mix that in with your physical athletic ability to maintain, like, proper, like, to maintain like competitive skills, but there's hold let me get the door. Oh, nephew just got home. But with jiu-jitsu, like, you know, I'm not an MMA coach, or I'm not like great skilled fighter, like world class skills. I don't got any world class skills in any of the arts. You know, I'm like a boxer who did like a little bit of MMA, and I will say that, you know, from jiu-jitsu though, like it's one of those arts where, like, as you get older in age, your technique and your ability to maintain competitive skill, it does not drop as fast as the other arts. Based on what I see, based on what I know, if any of you who is watching this has better knowledge, please explain to me why I'm wrong, or feel free to just don't believe me at all. And yeah, like the fact that Jack Herman, dude's name Hermanson, did that to Jacare on the ground, that's just crazy. Like, if he gets anybody on the ground, they're like screwed in that division, or they gonna have trouble. Jake and they're very big, explosive fighter coming from heavyweight, lots of power. Yeah, he can knock Jack out, but I don't see. Like, Jack doesn't fight Jack should win. You know, it's a puncher's chance versus the grappler. Co-main event, I don't know these guys. Danilo Barlarudo, I might have seen them fight, but I just don't remember. And then Gunnar Nelson versus Gilbert Burns. I think Gilbert Burns is going up in weight. I say Gilbert Burns. I'm gonna go with Gilbert Burns. Gunnar Nelson has that like Conor McGregor stand-up style, like the karate. He has that karate style, but he's like, his main threat is the jiu-jitsu. And I'm gonna go with Gilbert Burns. You know, I think Gilbert's 155er, I believe, but I think he's just more athletic and faster, and part packs more power too. So, like, yeah, I'm gonna go with Gilbert Burns. Joe Cannonier, or not Joe Cannonier, Khalil Rountree versus Ion Kutalaba. I'm going with Cannonier, man. He's so fast, and he looked like a freaking beast ever since he moved to Thailand. Yeah, he's a freaking beast. I'm going with him. Owenson Prue versus Michael Olesichik. I don't know how to say his name right. You know, OSP is one of those stepping stone guys, but I think OSP this time he'll get the win. I'm not going based off anything. Like, his opponent has a lot of knockout finishes, but I'm gonna go with OSP on this one. There's not education pick or anything. So, like, if you're listening to this, don't don't say, oh, he chose OSP, so I think OSP has a better chance. Don't listen to me on this one. I'm just going off with just gut feeling. I think OSP will get this win this time. I don't know how many losing streak he's on, but yeah. If he loses this one, I think he's like one or two more fights he's out. Probably one more fight should be. technically, I think he should be out if he loses this fight because he lost like I don't know how many straight losses he has in a row, but yeah. And then Nicholas Dobie versus Alex Oliveira. Like once again, if you were to point a gun in my head, I'll pick up Alex Oliveira. I don't really know any of these guys. Nicholas he's 14-2, 14-2-1. It looks like a lot of his wins are by decision. He calls himself a shooter. I might go with Oliveira. Also, he's from Denmark. Yeah, I might go with Oliveira on this one. Obviously, they're trying to Oliveira. This fight, I think he's a step like a gatekeeper in this fight. And then, they're obviously trying to push some, like, every time I see a fighter from a different country, I have to see, like, tries the best to push that guy. And yeah, those are all, Lando Panada fighting in the prelims. Damn, went from that fight of Tony Ferguson, had, like, his name rise a little bit. I think that fight, though, like, that head kick that he landed on Tony, I think that took part of Tony's chin away. But yeah, Lando Panada went from that, and he got a little bit of fame, but then, like, he just never got to, like, he fights at his opponent's potential, not his. So if you're one of those fighters, you're going to have close, rough fights every time. And yeah, I think I'll stop this podcast for now. I think that's all I'm going to cover. Let's cover summer up. Yeah, Conor fighting Franky Yair. It's a respectable tune-up fight for me. Like, it's a tune-up fight that poses some challenges, but it's more of like I'm gonna need to work on my grappling. So give me a fight, give me a grappler that will be tough, but I should win. Type of fight. Yair, I'm just gonna give the guy. So like, that's our eye poke intentional alert. That's John Jones' best technique, the eye poke. And then, I give them the benefit of the doubt. Korean Zombie, as much as I hyped him up for, I think my brain says he's going to lose. But I hope I'm wrong. After a few wins, he's next in line for the title shot, man. Guarantee you that. Unless Conor decides to say, hey, I want Max. Korean Zombie's next in line for the title shot. Yeah, that'd be it. This went longer than I expected. It went about decent length. It wasn't too short, but it wasn't like too long. It wasn't like an hour long, so that's good. Yeah, I'll just end the stream here. Peace out, and yeah.